Connor Stallions is welcomed on my lawn. Now that the Netflix documentary is out, I can confirm what I've suspected for many months, and that is Connor Stallions is a hero, and he's going to be a star coach someday, mark my words. I feel uniquely qualified to discuss this topic since not only did I play at the school in question, not only did I send in signals, real and dummies, but I grew up playing football in the South, where all I heard for years is that schools like Michigan can't compete because they don't have the passion of SEC teams. They can't find that competitive edge it takes to win. Then comes this young man who not only wanted to coach since he was a kid, but wanted to coach at Michigan, so much so that he joined the U.S. military to hone new skills. Rarely do you find this combination of dedication, motivation, loyalty, and intelligence in a single individual. Now, did he violate some obscure, silly, and I would say pointless NCAA bylaws? Possibly. But no college football fan in America cares if a team analyst studies signals. They're just mad that he did it better. And it's quite apropos that the espionage tactics Connor excelled at were taught to him by our military. Yep. And the great irony is, if he had simply used his skill set for our intelligence agencies, he would have been promoted rather than shunned. Secondly, I've yet to have anyone explain to me how, after all these teams in the Big Ten knew the Wolverines had their signals, and after Stallions resigned mid-season, that Michigan still went on to beat 5 ranked opponents by a combined score of 141-72. And lastly, and most importantly, for some, the game of football simply isn't entertaining enough. They need dramatic storylines and villainous characters. Some people need a sign-stealing saga to be enthralled. Some need Taylor Swift to date a Chief so they have a reason to watch the Super Bowl. Not me and not us. 11 grown men trying to drive the football against 11 others is entertaining enough. And seeing as 2024 is already underway, it's time we put this silly, small-minded nonsense behind us. Connor Stallions, you are welcome on the lawn. Now let's play some football.
There goes my hero.
Let's play some football.
Watch him as he goes.
Talking about this nonsense.
All right. I want to get into this, but first, remember, we are live streaming LSU, USC.
Yes.
People love the live streams. We love the live streams, live bets, tailgate foods. We're going to start at 6 p.m. Central. That's 7 p.m. Eastern. Sunday, September 1st, it's the standalone game, LSU and USC. Be here. We're going to be breaking it down with you guys while we both watch it. We're not legally allowed to show the game, but we're going to have a whole hell of a lot of fun. These always go gangbusters. If you love football, you love analysis, you love winning money, and you just love good times, check that out. David, first off, I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. I've got no affiliation with Michigan. Here's what I think. There's a couple things. And I hope this is the last time we ever talk about it. Don't you? But if the end result, if why you are mad, and this is the reason I think some people that are mad that aren't affiliated with either place, is that Michigan was able to get other teams' signals, or that they got their signs and signals. And you're mad about that, and you think that is why they shouldn't be national champions, then I promise you, you have no clue about how any of this works behind the scenes. Sign stealing, you just saw Arkansas's defensive coordinator, right, come out and talk about he has to always be changing his signals, always be changing his signs because other teams get them. This is something that every coach knows, right? You have teams that get the TV copy of the game. Watch the TV copy because those cameras get angles the wide and the tight don't get so they can learn the signals. It's an ever-moving target. I've seen Mike Leach left a play call sheet on the field on purpose to trick somebody. I've seen people use the same signals they have the game before to mean different things. This is part of the gamesmanship. I think the reason a lot of people are mad is because Michigan won. If Michigan hadn't won the national championship, right, or lost the game or whatever, I don't think this would be nearly as big of a deal as it is right now. But since they went undefeated and won a national championship, some people are pissed off about it. I just don't think it's that big of a deal because he did do it better. Could he have broke some like bylaw or like something like that? Maybe, but there wasn't an egregious infraction to me. and everybody is stealing signals. You want to know what the third string and the fourth string quarterback do a lot of times? They look at the other third string and fourth string quarterback to try and pick up their signals. You do it in baseball, you do it in football. I'm just so sick of people getting upset about this, like your team doesn't do it. These are the same people that got mad saying that, oh, your team's paying recruits to go there, when their team's paying recruits to go there. It's part of the game.
Did y'all think the Netflix documentary was fair? Did you think it was slanted?
I thought it was fair. My only thing is, like, bro, you go to the military, like, you get all this, like, you do a great job of setting it up, and then you leave the payments on Venmo? That's your mistake.
Doesn't that tell you, though, that maybe he legitimately was just sending those to friends? Because it's like, are you leaving the Venmo?
See, but you can't, if you're doing what he was doing, you can't leave that up to chance like that.
That's true.
You can't, if you're like, listen, I'm advanced scouting, doing this, whatever, you can call it whatever you want, but I got to make sure I cover my ass on some of these other things. So a lot of times, it's not the crime. It's the cover-up of the crime.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to me, that was such an unforced error. Such an unforced error to leave it on Venmo. Come on, dude. Like, I mean, you can talk to the North Korea. You're over there on Central Michigan sideline with a blue light sunglass. We leave it on Venmo? That's what we're doing? Come on, man.
Dude, I was stealing signs in high school.
Yeah, like this is...
Can we stop talking about this? Like, seriously, if you watch Michigan play, they won because they just ran it down your throat.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. Michigan just ran the ball. That was it.
Here's our sign. We're running it.
Yeah.
We're running it.
Dude, my dad's father, my dad used to tell me the funniest stories. Like when my grandpa was coaching my dad in like 12-year-old youth baseball, he was the third base coach, and he didn't even want to tell the team signals, so he would just scream to the kid that was on first, hey, steal second base. This next pitch, steal second base. Michigan could have told other teams what they were doing, and it still would have worked because at the end of the day, it's a physical action, like trying to stop Michigan's offensive line. You know they're running it. There's Blake Corum. There's J.J. McCarthy. Here's this line of Siberian cave trolls that Michigan has. What do you think they're going to do?
Nothing would have changed that outcome.
No, that's the whole point.
The last thing I'll say about it, I heard Steve Dace on the Locked On Wolverines with Isaiah Hull, and I called Steve afterwards because Steve has talked with Connor Stallion several times now and has kind of tapped into this whole situation. And he did a fantastic job. I would encourage everyone to go listen to that. But the main point he said was, when I first met Connor Stallions, what I really wanted to know is this a sincere individual, right? Is this someone who's just knowingly going around trying to break rules and then trying to troll with Barstool and Portnoy and all that? Or is this a sincere individual? And he said, what you see in the documentary is exactly what you get. A guy who cares about his family, who cares about his parents, who desperately wanted to do whatever it took to be able to help Michigan football, including like going to all these games when he was growing up for free and join the U.S. military. He's like, you get exactly what you see as a kid who is genuine.
Well, I laugh some of these SEC fans that come out and they're like, I can't believe you did this. Dog, we cheat more than that. Are you kidding me? We're just pissed y'all had that idea.
We just make too much money to get caught.
Yeah, that's the difference. We don't get paid through Venmo.
They're not going to.
That's the thing.
Know
we're
we
black
do it,
market.
But they won't do anything.
Like, we're getting paid in like crypto. Like, it's a totally different.
Dogecoin?
It's like, hey, 2 lamps on the front yard means, hey, it's good to come in. Like, I'm talking that type of stuff. But all right, we're gonna get to the phone lines in 1 second. In 1 second, I promise you. But first, really quickly, the chat, because I just want to know. Blaine. The chat.
Sorry, I was reading Boomer129. Each of you constant defense of meat chicken just makes them look even more guilty.
Meat chicken.
Sorry,
why have I never heard of
Meat
any
chicken.
of them ever called meat chicken?
I don't know. I just think
you want to know? Yeah, you want to know why I defend it? You want to know why I defend it? Because I know how this stuff actually works, buddy. You're Sooner. That's Boomer. Boomer. If you're an Oklahoma fan, y'all cheating y'all's ass off right now. I promise you. Guess what? You need to be. You should be. That's the only way. You think that everybody plays within the rules? Man, come on, man. Touch grass. Go outside. Even lemonade stands are skimming money.
Do you find it funny at all that DeMarco Murray just got suspended for the
y'all's coach is calling guys and bumping
that Jim Harbaugh just got a show cause penalty?
Yeah, that's the last group I want to hear from. He can't even show up to the Temple game. 65? Damn, son.
Let's go to Donad Roach. He says, one question, has anyone from any other team besides Michigan had someone their team pay people to go to games so the video So the video, the call of the team, and have them sent to them.
Probably. I don't think this is the first time this has happened. But what's the difference in that? Let me ask you, what's the difference in that? And then just getting the TV copy and looking at it. Like, when we watch
the
film,
TV copy's better.
Yeah, when we watch film on the wide and tight, yes, you're breaking down the plays and the formations. You give it to the GAs. They put in, all right, this is the formation, this is the personnel, this is, what we call this, what we call that, and then it goes in the computer and it prints out the script, and then you watch it, right? 70% of the time they do this when they get in this formation. Do you know what you do when you get done cutting that film? When you get done, you know what you look for? The signals, right? You're not just looking, hey, the tight end's in the hip. When the tight end's in the hip to the strength of the formation, obviously, they're running it 75% of the time. Well, guess what? If you're over here doing this, all right, and this is hurry up, and I'm seeing it on TV, guess what I'm writing down? This is hurry up. What's the difference in that? If I get to see it early, what's the difference?
The wildest part is deciphering signals is not against the rule. How can it be? You're just trying to get a competitive advantage based off them trying to get a competitive advantage by sending in signals rather than having the quarterback run. It's the advanced scouting, which I'll continue to say, which is the technical rule. And the wildest part about that is while you were coaching college football, you couldn't have gone to Western State, Colorado and watched your brother play a football game, or you would have been breaking the rules.
Yeah, it's David went to Michigan, right? But none of us here have an affiliation with Michigan. So even if you want to say, oh, David, you went there, you're defending, whatever, we've got I promise you, what I'm worried about is if this results in a huge suspension and now they're going to start getting people in trouble for stealing signals, that completely changes a lot. It's just a lot bigger than I think a lot of people realize.
Let's go to Smokin' Joe. He says everybody was illegally recruiting, but SMU got the death penalty.
Yep.
Everyone was paying players, but USC lost their championship and Bush lost his trophy, which he got back.
Yep.
This argument doesn't hold to me.
Well, that's why everybody hates the NCAA, is because it's selective punishment is what it felt like. You would see other people commit the same acts, but they would get away with it. Then if a certain school that fit a certain box that you could go get, right, or you got forced that you had to. I feel like USC, they had to.
I'll give you another good one that I was on the other side of. I was so excited to watch Michigan basketball in 2013 because the first time they were going to be good since the Fab Five. They weren't competitive when I was there. All of a sudden, they have Trey Burke at point guard. They have Tim Hardaway Jr. Trey Burke wins the Naismith Player of the Year award. We're down against Kansas. I think it's Sweet 16 or Elite 8. He hits this three-point, keeps us in the tournament. I'm like, Michigan's going to win the national championship. They go play Louisville, lose to Louisville. Louisville's really good that year, won the national championship, only to come to find out a couple years later that they were cheating with the prostitutes or the hookers or whatever it was and involved in all this stuff, and they had to vacate their national championship. Does that mean Michigan now is the champions in basketball?
Yeah,
you lost the game.
No, and so was he trying to make the point that everybody wasn't paying everybody, SMU was, and that's why they got the death penalty? Buddy, my dad was paying guys. My dad coached at Auburn in the 90s.
No, he might be talking about the selective enforcement.
Okay, I was about to say, because my dad played at Auburn in 1986. He got paid to transfer from Memphis State to Auburn. I'm from personal experience, I'm telling you this happens. All right, last one, I swear.
All right, let's go to Kenny. Kenny, what's up? He says, I stole signals as a freshman D coordinator every game.
Yeah.
I did a complete watch of games, just watching the coach and redoing the play. Calm down, peoples. I literally did this every day.
That's what I'm saying. Every time you come out and say, it's making you look like you have no idea what you're talking about to people that really know, right? It's a way of out, and I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, well, you should know that. You should know that. We're trying to tell you that, right? If you hadn't been in it, you don't understand it. This isn't a let's all hold hands and kumbaya. Nobody's looking at whatever.
And you got to think now in college football. I mean, you got mics and helmets. You don't need signals. I mean, technically,
if they huddle.
If they huddle, technically, you're not going to have as much signals.
No, it's just this thing has been so overblown because people don't understand the way the game actually works. That's why you've seen all these prominent people come out saying, saw Joel Klatt today. It was like, Michigan is the national champions. Y'all got to get over it because they know how it works. I wouldn't walk into a butcher shop and start telling him how he needs to cut the meat because I don't know, or the secrets of the butcher trade or the librarian trade. I'm telling you, some of you people just don't know that, and that's our job is to win the water cooler to tell you. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Hey, if you haven't, look, football season's here. Hit that subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, get somebody else to subscribe. Please share in the show. Hit that like button. We really, really appreciate all your support.